Okay. Well,
Hello.
hello.
Hi, Michael. I'm Lisa.
Well, hi, Lisa. How are you doing?
Good. I was afraid I might have gone to the wrong thing. So I'm glad. Okay, yay.
No, you're the only one here so far.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I did get an email from Heather saying she was at the ER with her son.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have another Lisa coming in. Hello, Lisa.
Ooh, gracious.
Hello.
Kamau.
Hami Tolicha.
I told you. Okay.
Sunny. Still sunny outside.
Grianach.
Grianach. Yeah, Grianach.
Okay. Gleva. I guess on on fume Arkansas a coper. My sound is working, so that's good. Yeah, so though might have to do a little workaround for when I play something on YouTube because I tried it last night and it didn't work, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. But up until that point, we're quite all right, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, cool.
Did you figure out what was wrong?
Well, with the first issue, and I didn't figure out. My son came and clicked a couple buttons and it worked. So, and what he did, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, but so and I guess Jane on show. Kabra
Mahagama, that's
Agama. Clever. We told you. Okay,
earthquake.
we have a new student with us tonight, Lisa R. And Darna Lisa, the second Lisa. Okay.
Hello.
Ayla. Okay. Hello.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so let me told you. Okay. So Lisa, Lisa R. Perhaps before we get started, Outsevierla in English, perhaps you could tell us a little bit about your background and your interest in Gaelic and whatever else you think pertinent.
Oh, thank you. Well, I've lived in San Diego most of my life, and I knew I was Irish on my mom's side. And I thought it was Swedish and English on my father's side, but then I did a ancestry test, and it came back with a lot of Scottish, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. And at the time, my mother and I were watching the Outlander series.
Okay.
I'm sure you hear about that all the time, but and there was something that just kept pulling at me, and I didn't know what that was. But anyway, so I've been caretaking for the last some years, and now I have a little time to myself, and I joined the Houses of Ireland and Scotland over in Balboa Park.
Okay.
And so and then I went to the first meeting on Zoom, guys. And one thing about me is I have a house full of animals, and so sometimes you'll hear, something related to that in the background. But so when I attended the meeting last Saturday for House of Scotland, they said they were having the Gaelic lessons, and I thought, wouldn't that be interesting? So so that's why I'm here, and I enjoyed language in high school and college. Of course, it was French and Spanish, but this is maybe not as much commercial use in San Diego, but this is it's very interesting to me. So that's why I'm here.
All right. Well, clever. Very good. Now, one of the things you'll hear me say, and other students have heard me say many times, is the roots of the Irish Gaels and the Scottish Gaels are identical.
Okay.
Okay, so when we trace our ancestry, our DNA, it it's what we're finding very often is a Gaelic ancestry, no matter what the location. At one time, the Gaelic communities across Ireland and the Highlands of Scotland were a single community, a single cultural unity. And it wasn't until those pesky English got involved and separated us. But anyway, yeah.
Well, I had researched I'd gotten it was a picture or kind of an embossed thing of the two crests of my mother and then my father, and then put their wedding date on it. And so she was O'Brien and he's Russell. And I was, and we, of course, and they looked alike. Even when they were young, they looked alike. And so we'd always joke about mom and dad, we're related or something. And the crests, the two crests were startlingly similar. And that kind of, that tracks with what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, very good. Okay. And once in a while, I'll do a presentation about ancient Gaelic stories that go back to Irish legends or Irish mythology, but it's Gaelic, of course. It's Gaelic mythology. It's ancient Gaelic stories that that are still repeated, still part of the culture in Scotland as well. So anyway, but
Interesting.
yeah.
The man at the House of Scotland, when I went in there, he said, "What's the difference between Ireland or the Irish and the Scots?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, 12 miles.
12 miles, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how in early historic times, almost prehistoric times, the Gaels from Ireland traveled across that little body of water, that short body of water, and settled on the west coast of Scotland, and which gave us the Gaelic culture there. So anyway, all right, with Leabhar, let me tell it you. All right, okay. Does anybody else have any ideas or anything they want to share? Questions before we
Did you feel the earthquake? How do you say that? The earthquake yesterday, I did.
Yeah.
The heck out of me.
Shaking of the earth. Shaking. Yeah. Creed Taliban. Yeah. And I didn't. Yeah.
I thought you would have.
Yeah. Well, two things. One, I'm a little bit away from the San Diego area. And two, I'm on top of the mountain, which kind of absorbs any shaking of the earth. So at least I like to tell myself until we're shaken and the whole thing goes sliding down.
Okay, we're just south. We're in Lemon Grove, so we're in the East County. So it takes us 40 minutes to get to Julian. So
yeah, I saw a cute video of the elephants and the San Diego Zoo gathering together to protect the little ones, the little elephants. So that's, they're wonderfully social creatures. So anyway, okay, all right, okay, all right. So let me pull up my my thing. Listen, yeah. Where are we then? Okay, I want to share your sound. All right, okay. All right, okay, so I assume that you can see my my screen now, right?
Yes.
Okay, Leabhar, okay, all right. Make it a little bit smaller. Okay, all right, so Capital Bliana Ahun, lesson Ficus a shock, okay? And our slogan, Nishar Gaelic Vristja, Navirla Chlistja. Better broken Gaelic than fluent English. And, and the piper that we should pay, Piper na Shechina, Kunyach na Kaska, Easter bunny. Okay. Yeah, the piper this week is the Easter bunny because we have Easter coming up. So anyway, I thought that would be appropriate. Have a little Easter bunny piper for the week. Anyway. And Clàr na Seachdaine, schedule of the week. Fàilte, okay. Seanfhacal na Seachdaine, we'll see what the proverb of the week is. Gràmar na Seachdaine. Okay, and this week again, we're going to, I'm not going to have a formal grammar lecture, but we'll continue to use our Gaelic and read it and, and see it in use. Okay. And shortly we'll come back to formal lessons, but anyway, I thought take a break from bombarding you with rules and grammar and just to have a little fun with stories. Okay. And then Òran na Seachdaine, the song of the week, we'll go back to Hamagul Aiste Chuan. Hamagul Aiste Chuan. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. My love is on the high seas. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. And okay. The word of the day, Yapi Licha. Yapi Licha. Go ahead and say that. Yapi Licha. Yapi
Licha.
Huh?
Labia licha.
Yapi. The B is sounded very much like a P. Yapi Licha. Okay. Licha. Okay. Bed and breakfast. Literally, I'll write this here. Literally, bed and porridge. Licha being porridge. Okay. So and if you ever get a chance, I would suggest if you ever get a chance to go to Scotland or Ireland, almost any place. The bed and breakfast, a small bed and breakfast, is a wonderful way to get up close and personal with the people who live in the area. And whenever I go, and I haven't been for several years, I try to situate myself in a home that has a Gaelic speaker, that has Gaelic speakers, and a wonderful way to practice your Gaelic. Okay. All right, so Yapi Licha, bed and porridge. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right. And talking about Licha, Seanfhacal na Seachdaine, how is dh'ionnsaich do Hennever Licha a dhéanamh? Okay, so say after me, how is dh'ionnsaich ga do Hennever Licha
Licha.
a dhéanamh. A dhéanamh. Okay. How is dh'ionnsaich ga do Hennever Licha a dhéanamh. Okay. Go and teach your grandmother how to make porridge. Okay? And now what that is that's kind of a dismissive statement. It's like well, I mean, it's literally go and teach your grandmother how to make porridge, but what does that mean? It means you're telling me something I don't know. No, I'm sorry. You're telling me something I already know. You're stating the obvious. It's like get out of here. Yeah. You aren't being helpful at all. Okay. So the implication being, your grandmother knows how to make porridge. She's been making porridge for 70 years, so go and teach her how to make porridge and leave me alone. Yeah. Anyway, but anyway, just a cute little saying. And a couple language notes. How, colloquial for go or go away, derived from falaf, which is away. Okay. And lenited as aleph, and for that to howl or holla. So it's not a verb proper per se, but it's kind of it's a colloquial a word that has that kind of meaning, okay? And very often seen as hala, okay? Used as a sharp imperative command is get away from here, something like go away or get away from here, okay? And oh, and I'll make a little other note here in regards to falaf, regarding falaf, er falaf, halaf, falaf equals, what does that mean? It means, well, falaf. Okay, he is not just away, but out of the country. Okay, falaf. It means something like abroad. In English, we'd say abroad. Okay, he's abroad. You know, he's an expat, something like that. Falaf. He's left the Gaeltacht. He's left the Highlands, and it could be either he's down in the cities in Edinburgh or Glasgow, or he's in England, or he's off in America or Australia or New Zealand or someplace like that. But falaf. Okay, falaf. Okay, all right, okay. Dh'ionnsaich ga, teach two. Ga being an inflected form of do, or two in English. Okay, so dh'ionnsaich ga. So you don't teach somebody, you teach to somebody. Okay, and licha a yenaf, to make porridge. Okay, and this is the infinitive form of the verb. Okay, a yenaf, and we haven't gotten to the infinitive yet. But just so you can see how it works, you have a little bit of what's called inversion, the fronting of the object of the verb. So we don't say to make licha, we say licha to make. Okay, licha a yenaf. Okay, so now as we well know, when I mention something like this is not meant as a formal lesson, but just to give you a preview of coming attractions and just to point out a few things that are going on with the language. All right. Okay. Licha a yenaf, to make porridge. All right. Okay. And as I noted, grammar neshechina, the grammar of the week. We're going to look at a few stories. Depending on how our time goes, how long it takes us to get through them. But anyway, so we're going a wild ride, wild Gaelic ride. Okay, all right, okay, and Sgeulachd na Shechina, and so now we're going to go to the PDFs. Wonder what I have down here. Okay, let me. Okay, all right. So bear with me a moment. Let me call up my stories. All right, okay. Chapters. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go to a little bit of Leabhar Mòr Spot. Okay. We'll come back here. Kind of forget where we are. We'll just page through and see where we were last. I think we're there. Did we get there? Oh no, we haven't gotten here yet. Okay. So let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. And okay. All right. Okay. So now we're going around the Spot's house, well, Spot's life, and see what he has to tell us about the various things he encounters. Okay. All right. So I'm up here, up at the top of the page, and ha iet trang outsagarog. So go ahead and say after me, ha iet trang.
Ha iet trang.
Outsagarog.
Around the
They're
garden.
busy in the in the garden or the yard. Okay. Translated either or, depending. Okay. Poor spot shield. Poor
Spot shield.
Poor spot shield.
I guess. Okay, yeah, well, we'll go to the August, but ha poor spot shield loosen. Okay. He's planting seeds of plants, plant seeds. Okay. And kur is an interesting word. Kur. Here there's a past tense, a simple past tense that we haven't studied yet, but anyway, take my word for it. Kur is a word that means, it appears in a lot of instances as sometimes as a phrasal verb. Okay, but right here in its what you might call its naked form, it could either mean to put, or to send, or to plant, depending on the context. So right here, he's not sending as an email, shield, seeds, okay? And he's not putting them, though in a way he is putting them, but he's planting them, okay? Okay. Agus ha e afrasach ushka ora. Ha e afrasach ushka ora. Okay. And he is watering them, or fras. Fras is a word. Right here, you have the verbal noun of fras. It's a fras. Ha e afrasach ushka ora. He is showering them. Okay. Frost means a shower. If somebody refers to antushka, ha antushka aun, they're saying there's water, it's raining, but sometimes it's not raining, it's just frost. Chanil antushka, ha ach frost aun. There's just a shower. So there's different gradations, in Scotland where it's wet, where it's very wet. They have different gradations of water, of wetness. So anyway, frostic ora. He's showering them. He's watering them. A Christian apaintic. A Christian apaintic. Right here, apaintic. Okay. Christian is painting. Okay. And well, we don't see him. Oh, here's Christian painting. Right. Over here on the right-hand side, the crocodile painting, hae paintic, okay? I guess aili atoko lurin, okay, aili. So this is aili, the blue hippopotamus here. Aili atoko lurin, lifting flowers, literally lifting flowers to lift ga maher, for her mother, okay? Okay, for her mother, Yama here. Okay, so she's Toko Lurican or Lurin, right? Okay, all right. So now we're going to go through the various things. So now remember, this is left on the in the Dropbox for your usage and reference, and so it's kind of like a visual dictionary. And it's categorized. Oh, God, Melishko. How many of Brook? I'm burping. I just finished dinner. But anyway, and so it's left for your edification, your reference, and it's a dictionary that's sometimes very useful. It's organized differently than a lot of dictionaries, which that are organized according to alphabetical order. This is organized as you've seen according to according to category. So right here we have the category of stuff outside. So here we have a bala, a wall, wall, which is different from bala, a ball. Okay. But we have bala, a wall, and a college.
College.
A hedge, a college. Okay. A hedge or a hedgerow. Okay. A staran, which would be a like a pathway. Okay. Staran, sometimes called a shlia. Okay. And a gaita. Gaita. Okay. Tough one to remember. It means a gate. Okay. A bochik. A
Bochek.
Uh-huh. A worm. Okay.
Bochek.
Bochek. Okay. And then you notice the EAG at the end, which indicates it's a diminutive, so it's kind of, like, I wouldn't say a wormy, but a little worm. Okay. It's a little creature, a bochek. A dh'ionnsaich.
Glossach.
Classic.
A dh'ionnsaich. Okay.
Glossach.
I'm not sure what that is. What is dh'ionnsaich? I'm not.
Grass, maybe?
What?
Is it grass, maybe?
Grass?
Yeah.
Maybe, but it's not a word I'm familiar with in terms of grass. Hold on one second. Okay, they stumped the professor. dh'ionnsaich. A fallow field. Okay, yeah, it's a dh'ionnsaich, a lea or a fallow field. Okay, that's something.
Glossach.
Okay, dh'ionnsaich. Okay, not used that much. Okay, in fact, that's the first time I've ever seen it. Okay, used in that form. Dlas very often means gray, but anyway. All right, so
What do you usually use for grass?
a fjord.
Oh, fjord. Yeah, okay.
Fjord, yeah. Okay, fjord. Okay. Down here, Amaryon.
Million.
A bird bath,
water.
a bird pool. Yeah. Amar would be a pool or a pond. Yon would be the genitive, the pond of birds, the pond of the birds. Okay.
Yon.
Basketch.
Ostrich.
Basketch, okay, kind of. Okay. Gianan.
Gianan.
Gian.
Flowers, okay. So there's a few words for flowers. Gian, and right here, plural, Gianan is one of them. We have up here Fluorin would be another one. Fluorin, the fluor, plural Fluorin would be another one, okay. Gelanje. Gelanje, okay.
Gelanje.
A butterfly. It's a great word. I love this word, Gelanje. It's a lightning of the day. Lightning of the day. A day lightning. Okay. And an ool.
Cool.
An apple. Okay. And a cruv ula. Cruv ula. And so an apple tree. Okay. Cruv would be tree. Ula would be the genitive. Okay. Tree of apples. Okay. Press. Press would be a bush. Okay. And I think we had a discussion a week or two ago. Press can also be like a cabinet. Okay. So, so if somebody says that something is in the press, you have to figure out, what are they talking about, a cabinet, or are they talking about the bush, so if it's a bird in the press, well, okay, well, they're talking about a bush, but it's about your trousers in the press. Well, they're not talking about a bush, they're talking about the cabinet. Anyway, and a dhuilleach, which is the little leaf on top of the apple. So dhuilleach would be a leaf. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we have fensa. Fensa. And a peep ushka. Okay, a water pipe or a hose. Okay.
Huh.
A rockin. Okay. And and I'll go back to peep. It's the same word that we use for the bagpipes, and the same word that you'd use for, say, underwater pipes for water as well. So anyway, same word you'd use for a smoking pipe. Okay.
So it's pipe or is it hose?
What? I'm sorry?
Is it pipe or is it hose or both?
No,
Pew.
both. Yeah,
Pew.
peep. Yeah, peep ushka. Yeah.
Peep ushka.
Yeah. It depends on the context.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it could be both. Okay. Grappa beck. What do you call that in English? This little thing here. an implement in the garden with the little
Troll.
fork.
Troll. A
No, it's not a
trowel.
hoe.
Oh, yeah.
Trowell. Trowel.
Oh, trowel. Okay, no, a scrael.
Trowel.
That's a trowel. Scrael, a trowel.
Trowel. Oh,
Yeah, but the
Eins.
Beck, I don't know.
Eins.
I just know the Gaelic Beck. Okay, anyway, but it's a little forky thing. Okay, anyway, pocket shield.
Pocket
Pocket
shield.
shield.
Okay, a package of seeds. Okay, shield being with the genitive. Okay, plural. Okay, a cow.
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 Cabbage.
Cabbage. Okay.
Buntata.
Buntata.
Buntata. And if you remember a song that we sang a few weeks ago, Stellum Eamus Buntata, Buntata Zim. Okay, I love potatoes and butter. Okay, Garach Lucen.
Garlic.
Lucen. So that's a plant garden. Okay. Okay. Unionin or onion.
Onion.
Okay. Unionin would be the plural. Okay. Union would be the singular, onion. Pesrican.
Pastrican.
Okay. Peas. And curran.
Curran.
Curran. Okay. And right here, we have a paila frossi. Paila frossi. A pail of, and here we have that word frost. Okay. Frossi. Okay. All right. The shower pail, the watering bucket, the watering pail. Sgeulachd. A snail, Sgeulachd. And a potch loose.
Potch
Loose. Okay. A pot for plants. What do you call that in English? A potting plant, something like that. Okay. Rock and paint.
Paint.
Okay. Bank.
Bank.
A bench. An unyek. A window. Or a doris. The door. Javis. You know, the what do you call that in English? With the cutting, the
Clipper?
shears? Yeah,
shears.
clippers. Yeah, clippers. Yeah, the Javis. Okay. Ort, the hammer.
Ort.
Okay. And a sluicich,
Sluicich.
a shovel, also called a spatch, as in a spade. Okay. Let's see, doors, paint. A brush.
Brush.
The brush. Okay. And a mulach.
Mulach.
That's a roof. And mulach is a word, as I continue to say, Gaelic is what one linguistic professor I had once called polysemic. Words can have sometimes many different meanings. Okay, and and mulach is one of those words. It could mean a roof. It could mean a ceiling. It could mean the top of something, just generally the top of something. You know, mulach na cruiva, you know, the top of the tree or whatever. Okay, so but mulach is one of those words that you kind of have to figure out by context what it means. Okay, all right. So there we have a bunch of words for us to learn. Okay, for us to have learned, and as I said, you can come back and take a look at this. And this is a great reference, and I think it's helpful to have pictures to go along with the words as well. So anyway, all right, okay. Now we might come back to this again, depending on how our time goes. But let me go on to something else. Where are we now? I have to find out where we are. Okay. Where should we go? Okay. All right. Let's try Zompian. Okay. Zompian. Okay, this is kind of a fun little story. Zombian. Okay, Zompian. Okay. Zombies. Okay. Right, Sòmbaidhean. All right, okay. All right. O'Fachlanura, and so you can look at this on your own, okay, but kind of a glossary of the new words, okay. All right, okay. On Jew, Hamiana Meanavala. Meanavala, Dulach, okay, Meanavala. On Jew, Hamiana Meanavala, okay. Today, on Jew, Ame Aonan, and that should be Aonam, Dulach, Meanavala, in the middle of the village, in the middle of the village of the town square, the town center. I was downtown, okay. Amiana Meanavala, right? Okay. Imig zombie own. Imig zombie own. There were many zombies there. There were many zombies. Okay. Imig is a word that means many, and think of it as many a, like in English. Now you don't see this usage in English, but there's many a person there. Okay. Many a zombie. Okay. So and so what follows is the singular of the noun, even though it means many. Now nowadays when we use the word many in English, we always use the plural. There are many zombies there, but in Gaelic, like in the older usage of English, we say many a. Okay. Haid Ghaol agus grot. Ghaol
agus grot.
agus grot. Okay. Ghaol is white. Okay. Okay. And grot, I love that word. We have a word something like it in English, like grody. Just disgusting, rotten, rot. Okay. And it can be applied either literally or, you think somebody's music is grot, oh, I don't like that band, they're grot, they're rotten, I don't like them. Okay, Haid Ghaol agus grot. They're white and grody, okay? Haimich gaiv gungarstinen nochasen, okay? Haimich gaiv, many of them, okay, imich, many, gaiv, of them, arstinen, without arms, nochasen, or legs. Okay, haimich gaiv gungarstinen nochasen. Gun means without, though you'll see it in other usages as well. Gungarstinen, arms, nochasen, or legs, okay? A fair own. There was one, okay, a fair own. Fair can either mean a man or it can mean a one, and refers to a masculine noun, not necessarily a masculine person, but here it does. But own, ha ach un hul echa. Ha ach un hul echa. Echa. Ha ach un hul echa. Okay. Oh, where am I? Okay. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, hold on. Okay, all right. He had only one eye. Okay, so here's a Gaelic usage. Ach un hul. That means but one eye. He had only one eye. So this is how we say somebody has only something, or something's only. Okay. Ach un hul. But one eye. Okay. He had, okay. Ach un hul. All right. A dle echelijk fechelach. A dle echelijk fechelach. Okay. A dle, very. Okay. Echelijk. Yeah, and I love this phrasing. Echelijk fechelach. It's just it's like hairy, scary, something like that. Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's one of those, Ekelach means frightening, okay, or scary, but the Ekelach Fekelach is kind of a rhyming combination. Okay, that's kind of a fun colloquial phrasing. So in a Ekelach Fekelach, he is hairy scary. Okay. Hami aun an Echo Movea.
Hami Elm,
On an Echo Movea.
Echo Movea.
Uh-huh. Echo Movea, on an Echo Movea. That means I was scared to death. Literally, it means I was in fear of my life. Okay, but we'd very often in English say I was scared to death on an Echo Movea. Okay, I mean on an Echo Movea. A pieper an kuchak. A pieper an
Kuchak.
Uh-huh. But but a piper was there also. Pipera, a piper, okay. Kuchak also. Okay. There was a piper there. Echo Mòr Nasampian Rochel Echa. Okay. Echo Mòr.
Echo Mòr.
There's a great fear. Nasampian.
Nasampian.
Literally on the zombies, Ron Hail Echa. All right. We have a fear not of something, but before something. Ro means before. Ron would be before the music. So the zombies had a great fear of his music. Echo. Heel Echa. Echo Mòr na Sampian. Okay? Ron Heel Echa. On Kriach. The end. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So they all ran away. Okay. Rui we could say ha iet rui falaf. They ran away. Rui falaf. And there we have the usage of the word falaf. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's the epic of the zombies. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we have. I have to. All right. Okay. I have another one. Yeah. Okay. Let's try Aodainn Annasach. Okay. Aodainn Annasach. Okay. Okay. Aodainn. Aodainn would be a Aodainn. Aodainn. Faces. Okay.
Aodainn.
Aodainn. Okay. Aodainn Annasach. Okay. All right. So, Mahan Mòr.
Mahan Mòr.
Okay. Mahan Mòr. Okay. A big bear. Okay. Big bear. Mahan Mòr. Big bear. Okay. Mapach. Okay. Okay. So, astonished. Okay. Frightened. Okay. 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 You see, so Annasach would be unusual. Aodainn. Okay. The unusual faces. So, Huke lesh movala. Huke lesh movala. Lesh movala. Okay. So, he took off. Huke lesh. That's a colloquial saying. Huke lesh movala. With my ball. My ball. Okay. He ran away with my ball. Okay. Okay. And here we have a word that's very similar to bala, meaning a wall, except usually it's spelled with one L. The wall would be spelled with two L's, and bala, the ball would be spelled with one L. So now one thing that I often remark, and I'm not complaining or criticizing, but the orthography, the spelling of Gaelic is still not settled. Gaelic has only been a written language for less than 100 years. So we're still getting settled on what the exact spelling is, and you go to different dictionaries, and sometimes they'll have different spellings, different versions of the word. So anyway, so just kind of get used to that. And Bronach. Okay. He is sad. Okay, sad. Bronach. That's one of the unusual Uten. Okay, Utin. Okay, Annasach. Okay. Hamisha Fergach.
Misha Ferriga.
Okay. I am angry. Misha Fergach. Misha, of course, is the emphatic. I am angry. Okay, okay, Fergach. And here we got Fergach.
Ferriga.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Should mo vexa yet a vahan vor.
Should know.
Yet a vahan more. Okay. This is my something like this is my idea to the big bear. Okay. Vahan vor. Vahan vor. Okay, to the big bears. Okay. Okay, Brackle. Taunting. Okay, making fun of Brackle. Okay, so you see, this is what he's doing. It's kind of hard to see in the from the rear, but this is my idea, or to the of the Vahan, the great bears, the big bears, plural here, Vahin. Okay. Sometimes you'll see this as Mahanan. Okay. Vahan Vor, Barakal. Okay. Hi a chiluk, like tuluk Vahin. Hi a chiluk.
Ohio Chuluk.
A tuluk Vahin.
Tuluk.
Okay. He's returning. Hi a chiluk. A chiluk, okay, returning with more bears. Like tuluk. Tuluk is a great word, okay, means more of something. So more bears. He's coming back with more bears. Droggle. Okay. Worried. Droggle. Okay. Okay. So, and sometimes we'll say, somebody says, don't worry about it. They'll say, na drog, the drog, worry or concern, don't let worry be on you, orsht, on you. Okay. Na drog, So, but he is drockle. He is drockle. He is worried. He's a little concerned about this. Okay. Jeha iitagiri.
Giri.
Okay. Agiri, right here. Agiri, okay. Okay, Agiri. What do they want? What? Aha, it, that they want, that they're wanting. What do they want? What are they wanting? Okay. And here we have Imiganech. Worried, nervous. Okay, Imiganech. Okay. Okay. Tlukile Bala, Ayla. Okay, Tlukile Bala, playing with the ball. Okay.
Tlukile Bala,
Ayla. What else? What? Ayla, else. What else? Tlukile Bala. What else? Okay, so they want to play with the ball. Okay. Doyle. Okay. Could be happy. So for instance, when I ask you, Kimmerhau, you can say Hami Edamagoy. I'm on my way or I'm getting along. Doi is a word that means something like a way. It could be a way of doing something. It could be a way like a road or a path. Okay. But you can say Hami Edamagoy or Hami Doyle. Okay, I'm happy. Okay. Nisha, Chundi and Tuluk. Nisha.
Chundi and Tuluk.
Chindi unto Dulach, Dulach. Okay, turn the page. It's he who on Tuten,
It's he who on Tunten,
and you will see the face on Tuten as Anisicha Ahaun. As
Annasach Aodainn.
yeah, the most strange, the most unusual that there is. Okay, Chundi and Dulach. Okay, so here we have another use of the word Dulach. It's we saw earlier it can mean a leaf, like a leaf on a tree, but it can also mean a page in a book. That sometimes in English used to be called the leaves. The leaves of a book. Okay, it's he who on Tuten. You will see simple future of the verb to see, which we haven't gotten to yet. On Tuten as Anisicha, most strange ahaun. Okay. And right here, Hasho son un uten leia, Ela. Okay. And Hasho son un uten leia. There's one other face, Kurjelaf yet hain aun. Okay. So turn the page for Antuten Akta. Okay. Okay. So I guess there's supposed to be a mirror there, and so you can see in the mirror. Kaviet uten Annasach ani usa. Okay, kaviet uten. So here, if we had a mirror, you could look in the mirror, and it asks you kaviet uten Annasach. How many kaviet strange faces ani usa that you can make ani usa. Kaviet uten Annasach ani usa. So so homework tonight is go to your mirror and make faces in the mirror. See how many funny faces you can make. Okay, all right. Okay, so there we go. Tuten Annasach. Okay, all right. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, let's see. Let me go here. Where are we? Do we have okay, maybe I'll go to. I have a little piece on we have the song tonight, and I have a little lecture or a little presentation on Easter in the Highlands. Okay. So maybe we'll go there. Okay. All right. Achask. That's Easter. Okay. All right. Easter. Okay. Achask. Okay. So it's related linguistically to Latin Paschal and Hebrew Pesach, Passover. So, so linguistically, I mean, it looks a lot different from Easter, but it's related to other forms. Okay. Okay. And and how we get kask is achask, but without the, it's kask without the H. Okay. And how did we get the kask from Paschal or Pesach? Well, little linguistic history here, a migration of P to C. Okay, there are different kinds of Celtic languages. There are two major categories. One is called the P Celtic or the Q Celtic, and the other is the P Celtic. Okay, so Gaelic, Irish, and Manx are in the Q Celtic. Okay, I should erase this right here. It's just a Q Celtic. And so, and the P Celtic are Welsh, Cornish, Breton, and Gaulish. That is the language of ancient Gaul, which used to be France. Okay. In Gaelic, we say Mac, son. Welsh or Brittonic, we say Mop. Okay, you see the not the C, but the P or the B. In Gaelic, we say Caun, ahead. In Welsh, pen, ahead. So, and it's a common feature that when languages change, they change in a wave. I mean, so you have this entire shift. Historically, the Q Celtic languages shifted in this fashion. So there's lots of words, and I'm not that familiar with Welsh, but there's lots of words in Welsh that kind of correspond to the Gaelic, except they are P words instead of Q words. Okay, what's called Q. I mean, as you see, they're very often G or C. Okay, all right, okay. So that's how we get achask. That's how we get kask. All right. So, La of Rochen Vor. Okay. The day of the great porridge. La of Rochen Vor. Okay. So brochen would be another word for porridge. We have licha, brochen. Okay. So it's a Thursday before Easter. Okay. Large dish of porridge was made with butter and etc. was poured into the sea where wrack, flotsam and jetsam used to come. And so this is one of the probably an old pre-Christian offering to the god of the sea. And even up until early modern times, the people in the outer isles were very dependent upon the things that would wash up on the shore. I mean, all sorts of treasures from sunken ships and whatnot. And we remember me telling about the story about whiskey galore, right? The people were quite delighted to have the shipload of whiskey wash up onto their island. And the idea would be that sending the fruit of the land, that is the porridge that came from oats that they grew in the land, into the sea would cause the fruit of the sea to come to the land. Okay, and this is a very primitive idea. It's called sympathetic magic. Okay, that you do one thing, it'll cause a parallel thing to happen. That parallels it or is analogous to it. So sending porridge, giving porridge to the sea, and there's some islands in which they'd pour whiskey. They pour a little bit of whiskey into the ocean as an offering to. Now, in modern times, we've lost the idea of exactly who they are offering this to. I mean, whether it was a god or just the sea in general. In one island, it would be Shawnee, Shonny, Shawnee, but we're not quite sure. Now, this was recorded in the 1600s. We're not even quite sure what that refers to, whether that's whether it would be the Gaelic spelling. Let's go down here. Okay, I'm going to go down here and just show you. Okay. Just spelled like this. Okay. Okay. So we're not quite sure. The guy who recorded it wasn't clear whether he was referring to a Gaelic spelling or an English spelling. In English, it would be Shawnee, and Gaelic it would be Honey. So we're not, but he did record that the people in I think it was on the Isle of Lewis would go out like knee deep into the sea and pour whiskey into the water as an offering to the god Honi. Okay, people have suggested that that it was a pre-Christian god, like a god of the ocean, or somebody has suggested it was Saint John, like Saint John the Baptist. Okay, well, but nobody quite knows. But anyway, we just know that people used to do that, and so this kind of offering to where are we now? Right here. Okay, yeah. Anyway, but that's La Vroken Vor. Okay, day of the great porridge. Okay. Donekeshta, crucifying Sunday. Okay, so they celebrated, recognized, I don't know if celebrate is exactly the right word, but the Sunday on which Jesus was crucified. Okay. The people say the sun dances on this day in joy for a risen Savior. Or actually, no, this was the day that Christ rose. Okay. What? So the sun was supposed to dance on this day. Okay. Uh, and so from Carmen Gadelica, which is a wonderful compilation of spells and prayers and folklore. Collected in the 1800s, and it says Va grian or gil a geri skein am bein vora agus I a chuchlach da unia purpi jerich chra yerich gel gil gel. So just a list of colors. Agus or gel mar glor yea, the glory of God non do do clown gonsa. A dh'ionnsaich an garshnis ri asri I slanyerer grach. Okay, the dancing in joy for the joyful rising of the Savior, of the loving Savior. Okay, so here the English translation: the gold bright sun had risen on the crest of the great hills, and it was changing color. Green, purple, red, blood red, white, intense white, and gold white, like the glory of God of the elements to the children of men, dancing in joy to the joyous resurrection of the beloved Savior. Okay, so this is Doniach Keishja, Crucifying Sunday. But actually it's, the Rising Sunday, the Sunday of the Rising. Okay, all right, okay. So this was an important day for the Easter celebration. On Cherach, the spring, okay, the dancing of the sun, the glancing and darkening of the sun on a fitful spring day was believed to be a warning that the most trying part of the spring is yet to come. Okay, so this is kind of equivalent, I guess, to the, who is it, Puxatawny Phil, the groundhog, okay, that a Phil sees his shadow means a sunny day, means more winter's going to come. So same in the Highlands. Okay, so a sunny day on early spring meant we're still going to have more winter. And Gua Tuana Kask, the north wind of Easter or spring. Okay, so and here Kask is used synonymous with spring. Proverbial expression for the common occurrence of bad weather to accompany good. A reminder to moderate excessive joy and put people to mind that the cares of life are not all past yet. So, and I guess this is a feature of Gaelic culture. It's not pessimism, but it's kind of a guarded optimism, or guard against excessive optimism. Because no matter how nice the weather seems today, there's always tomorrow, and another storm will blow in. Okay, Erich Fata Ajay Kask. Okay, so the word for a long spring after Easter. Okay, and Gleir Kurum Ajay Kask. So a couple expressions. A feast can be kept after Easter. Gleir Kurum, a feast. Okay, Ajay Kask, and that's a great word. Kurum. It's a feast, or sometimes a picnic, but also Kurum Kiol, which is a concert, a feast of music, Kurum Kiol. Easter holiday with the young. Every egg that a boy could steal or lay his hands on unobserved before in the weeks leading up to Easter was hidden by him in the thatch of an outhouse or in a hole in the ground. So the little boys would steal eggs. And on Easter Day, the children would sneak away and have a feast of pancakes and eggs that they'd make for themselves. So this was a little thing, I don't know if you'd call it a rebellion against the adults or an assertion of independence against the adults, but something that the boys would do. The eggs were of no use unless they'd been hidden and stolen. Okay, so it was no good if your mom gave you the eggs. Yeah. With openly or honestly got eggs, the feast was not entirely independent of older people. And in some ways, the eggs were emblematic of resurrection, but I'm sure the boys were not thinking of religious matters when they had their eggs and pancakes. Okay. Okay. Anyway, Mochla Luan Kask. Okay, so this is from Carmina Gadelica, Òran on Ghaol, Incantation of the Gaels. Okay, so early Monday morning of Easter, and it goes moch early moch la luan kask, Easter Monday morning, Hunimi Sal. Sal, I saw on the ocean. Sal would be salt water. Okay, another word for ocean, sal, but it can also refer to salt water as opposed to ushka, which would be fresh water. Lach Elavan,
Lachas Elavan.
a duck and a white swan. Okay, Lach Elavan, a snav lechela.
A snav lechela.
Swimming together. Comeric Vreechavi.
Comeric Vreechavi.
Okay. Protection of Bridget Calm, of Calm Bridget. Okay. And Bridget is a great personage in Gaelic culture. Somebody who bridges the pagan and the Christian. Of course, you have Saint Bridget in Catholic mythology, but also you have Bridget in pagan mythology, and it's the same person. You know, the Christians adopted the pagan goddess Bridget to become a saint. Okay, and very often, and you see this in Gaelic lore as well. Saint Bridget is reputed to have been the handmaiden or even the midwife for the Virgin Mary when she gave birth to Christ. So anyway, so Cormac Voy Ravine, protection of Mary Mild, Mild Mary, Cormac Vichovil, protection of Sweet Michael. Okay, so my patron saint. Okay, and very often referred to, even though, and this always struck me as, I don't know if strange is the word, but paradoxical. But you know, Saint Michael, of course, is the the warrior saint, that archangel that drove Satan out of heaven. But the Gaels refer to him as Sweet Michael. Anyway, go heen iska metal. For me, myself, and for my love. Okay, and metal is a great word. Etel would be literally a cow. It's a calf. Okay, so so like we could refer to like a loved one, as I don't know, puppy, or my little kitty cat or something like that, a little pet name. Ato, or a calf, would be a pet name for a loved one. Okay, Ato, Matel. The word is Atel, and very often with M apostrophe would be my love, Matel. Okay. Okay, Maple. Okay, yeah, and I've heard, and this goes back 150 years or more. This hymn, but I've heard Gaelic speakers to this day use the word matel. Okay, matel. So usually used for a small child, very often used for a small child that you're addressing. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's it. So that's ask on Sgeulachd. Right. Okay. All right. So close all tabs. Okay. I'm going to close the tabs here. All right. So any questions so far? I'm going to come out of shit. Okay.
Tons of them, but yes.
Plenty of them. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway. All right. So that's Cask. That's Easter in the Highlands. Okay. In Gaelic culture. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go to our song, and we're going to go back to the song that we studied last week and take a little bit more, or take another look at it, and at the wording and the phraseology of it. Okay, so let me pull it up. Okay, all right. Okay, let me just I'll go back to share, and as I said, depending on how Zoom is behaving, might have a little trouble sharing the sound, having the sound come through on your side. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. Okay, so anyway, so I'm going to share, and at first, I'm just going to share the written screen, and we'll go through. Okay, so Hamagul Arshta Chuan. Hamagul
Arshta Chuan.
My love is on the high seas. Okay. Arshta Chuan. Okay. Now, one of the things that you'll notice about this, and kind of a spoiler alert, okay, this song actually has, I guess, you might even say a happy ending. So it starts off very sad, but it turns around at the very end and has a happy ending. So, as some people have noted, very unusual for a Gaelic song. So anyway, all right, okay, all right. So all right. Vescracún an tús a chéistsin. Vescracún an tús a chéistsin. A calm afternoon at the beginning of May. Nuair bhain íoltach ounce na spéireann. Nuair bhain íoltach ounce na spéireann. When the bat was in the skies, okay, so the bats were flying around, I guess. You know, they come out where bats live. They can come out, with the nighttime. Okay, they don't fly around during the day. Chulam riven og is she jurach. Chulam
Riven og
jurach. Okay. I heard a young woman, a young maiden, riven og is she jurach, and she was tearful, and she was crying.
I have a question for you. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was muted. Eeltog. I love the name for bats. Do you know what it originates from, or what the root is?
What the root is? I have to look that up. Eeltog. It's very similar to Eichelach, which means to fly.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And Eeltog. With the AG, I would guess something like a little flyer, a little flying creature. Okay, Eeltog. Okay. All right. So Seanfhacal and Gaelic and Òran.
Seanfhacal
and Òran. Okay. And now here we're going to the young woman. Okay, singing under the shade of green branches. Gaelic and Òran. Branches Uanya. Okay. Green. Okay. Singing in the shade of a green tree. Dh'ionnsaich go Sgeulachd.
Dh'ionnsaich
go Sgeulachd. The sun on the ocean was shining. Okay, go Sgeulachd. Okay, it's right hag derech out an Eirmalch. Okay, so and the stars, literally the Railton, okay, the stars Haderich did not rise, had not risen yet in the skies. Okay, so still early in the evening. Eirmalch. Nuair a hain an oi go cianol. Hain an oi go cianol. When the an oi, the young person, oi, related to og, young. Like right here we have riven og. Well, here we have something like the youth, an oi. Go kiano. Kiano means full of longing, full of nostalgia. Hamagul ashta chuin.
Hamagul or
Ashta chuin. You know,
Arshahu.
my love is on the high seas, on the high of the seas. Okay. Hoshik jilt na haich returling.
Osha Jilt, not
Haich
like
returling. Okay.
Swirling.
Okay. So the so the so the what the well, the night was falling, basically. Okay, it was beginning to fall. So loop brown cocoon the fluorin, the loop brown
Ambon,
cocoon the fluorin. Okay, so loop brown. So bending under the weight of the dew were the flowers, the fluorin. Okay, okay. H agu na o chekuri.
Hechagu,
Na o chekuri.
Uri,
So H agu, the wind blew, and and the breeze is fragrant. Okay, so so the flowers are fragrance, kuri, were blowing in the wind. Bea sa urach dogach cluan.
Besa Ura, Duna Kluan,
Uh-huh. Life and renewal with each field, cluan. Okay. Glacia ninek found a horon. Glacia ninek found a horon.
Place and Enic,
Ninek found a horon.
Horan,
And so the ninek, you know, the um a diminutive for neon. Okay. And I would say little girl, but it's not like a little girl like we would say in English. I mean, like an 8-year-old girl. I mean, you know, it's a, you know, so it's a young, young adult female. Okay, a ninik. Okay, but it's a term of affection. Found nahoran. Okay, the tune of the song. Shave is cune ma ruik an ogvios. Shave is cune ma ruik an ogvios. Um, uh, calm as the ruik, the dew of June. Ruik an ogvios, ma ruik an ogvios, druik. Okay, great word, druik. You know, the dew. Okay, it's van chase show Gary and Coney. Van chase show Gary and Coney. Show Gary and Coney. So the chorus, Shach, rising constantly, continually on Coney. Hamagul er ashtachuin. Hamagul er ashtachuin. Here on law is years no realton.
Here on law,
Is years no realton. Okay, so here on law, something like twilight came on the day, and the stars shined. Okay, Hjó an ré mes níl nan spéran.
Yo on Ray Miss New
Mes
Nonspell,
níl nan spéran. Okay, so some figurative language, sailing amidst the clouds of the stars. Okay, so like the Milky Way came out, something like that. Okay, hui an oi va bron galerach.
Ui an Oi, Babon Galera,
Gaelic. The youth, the young woman sat Gaelic, burdened down with brown, like we saw bronach, sadness. Haro or tab no suoin.
Sharote, Roche, and
J or tab no suoin.
soon.
Uh, there wasn't Haro J wasn't snow on the ground. Okay. Hjálm mi faske reit na ógvion, an ógvion.
Hjálm
Mi faske reit
Rate no
na
own
ógvion.
only
Okay. I drew close to the young woman, Ogden. Okay, young
Is
woman.
Ben wife? Or
Uh,
could it be wife?
well, in this case, it would not be wife. It would be just a woman, a young woman.
Okay.
Ogden. Okay. Again, in context, right? Okay. Hein mogul chuan Sgeulachd.
Hey, we'll go.
Hul chuan Sgeulachd. Okay, singing about a love that was sailing on the sea, chuan, on the sea, Sgeulachd was sailing. Okay, O buvine chuan bronach,
Oh, Buhin.
chuan bronach,
Bona.
and sweet was the sad lament, chuan bronach. Hamagul ashta chuan.
Amagul
Ashta
Archtahu.
chuan. Rayan Keole Joan Mohaulach.
Ray and Kate. Jalmo.
Mohaulach.
Howler.
Mohaulach.
Howler.
Okay. The song attracted me, drew me closer. Dlu do riven down na blahul. Dlu do
Ludo even
down
down on Blahu.
Lahul, okay, close to the brown-haired um, maiden of the warm eyes, Namblahu. Chi a gurney reached an arstri,
She a goody
gurney
reached
reached
out.
an arstri. She praying to the high king, to God, right? Jean Mogra, her arshtachuan.
Chien Mogra or Arshtahu.
Arshtachuan. Protect my love who is on the high seas, Arshtachuan. Va akri legul guskanu,
Val Akri the
legul
ghouls who
guskanak.
fall.
Okay, so her heart was a Cree heart, legul with love, breaking, splitting, breaking apart, skanu. Nur atlach mi hain er livey.
Nur Aglach Mihain Elamet Lam.
When I myself grabbed hold or took hold of her hand. So the person who's singing this is kind of sneaking up behind her, I guess. Okay. Sheep do your,
Sheep Doyor.
Dohul Hasavolch,
The Hul Asalvoch.
Dohul Hasavolch. Wipe your tears, your love is safe. Dohul, your love Hasavolch, safe. Okay. Hil mislan var arshtachuan.
Hil Mislan Ba Arshtahu.
I have returned from the high seas. So it's her loved one that she's singing about that comes up on her and sees her singing the sad song, and then he comes up and takes her hand and says, "I've returned." So anyway, so like I said, a happy song. So let's see what we can do here with the all right, so this should play. Okay, so I'm going to play it for a second, and I should have the share sound on. And you tell me, I'll play it. I'll turn it off. You tell me if you heard it. Okay. Okay. Could you hear the music?
It sounded like it was about to play, but nothing. I couldn't hear anything. I mean, it's like it crackled for a second.
Yeah. Well, did you hear a couple bars?
No.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Okay. Did you hear anything?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, God, Militia. Let's see. I have to. Let me. All right. I'm gonna get out of share. I'll go back to the control. That's wrong one. Audio settings. Okay. Speakers. Digital. Same as okay. Okay. Can you hear me now? You can hear me.
Yes, I
Okay.
can hear you.
So let's see if we hear the music. Share. Do you hear the music?
No,
Do you hear the music?
no.
Oh, now I can't hear you. Oh, boy. All right. Okay. Hold on. Let me get out of share. All right. Let's see. Try this. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Say something.
We can hear you.
I can't hear you. Okay. Kukaluk. Okay. Real tech. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I can hear you, but you can't hear the music. Okay. All right.
Neil.
Now, what worked last night? Is somebody familiar with Zoom?
Somewhat.
Okay. Okay. Good. Lisa, I'm going to ask you to, I'll give you the link. And if you could share
Okay.
and play it, because that worked last night. Somebody was able to do that. So let me, I'm going to copy the link. All right. And
In the chat.
yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay. So hold on one second. I got to figure out how to get there. Okay. I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. So it's in the chat now. And if you could share your screen and make sure you click share audio up on the right hand side. There's a little share audio button, share sound button. Okay. And then share your screen. Okay. So I see your screen and
Can you hear the music?
yes, it sounds a little funny, but maybe very good. Yeah. All right, Leabhar, Tapala. Okay, very good. All right, stop to share. Very good. Okay, all right. So, just a couple notes. I'm going to go back to share for just a moment. I'm not going to try to play anything because that doesn't seem to work. But just to point out a couple things about pronunciation. Fluorine. Okay, so note when you have the I at the end, very often you pronounce that I as a fluorine. Okay, it's a different from it's not fluorine. Okay, fluorine and huri. Okay, fragrant. Okay, but note the 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 pronunciation at the end. Swine. Okay, and huin, arshta huin. So so very often you you pronounce that I, but it's not a complete I. Okay, but as I said, I'm going to stop share. Very often you can affect the sound by pulling the mouth into a kind of a smile. Huin. And you don't even have to consciously try to pronounce the I, just moving the lips. So fluorine, kuri, swin. See, so just moving the lips kind of forms that kind of sound that you want, that that kind of inflection at the end, the I inflection. Anyway, just a little note on pronunciation. Okay, right. All right. So, any questions? Any last points before? Okay, all right. Okay. Well, Veskrama Huladunya, Tapalev. Okay.
Eskimo.
Okay, and Himishi Hechen Hamindo. Yes, I hope to see you next week. Okay. All right. Okay. Aikava.
Thank you. Thank you very much.